Holy cow. Good God. Can you hear me? Let's get that set. Gators, isn't that the truth? Can you hear me? That's what I need to know first. Oh my gosh. How's the mic sound? Tell me that. It's a new mic, so this is like trial run here. Yes. Okay. Does this sound better? Sound decent? Funny enough, I don't know what it was. Like thanks, Andrew. So the old setup was I used to use another audio device, a nice audio device when I used to do it upstairs. When I went down in the basement, I went low budget. I'm like, forget it. I'm just gonna use the laptop, and so that's what I was doing for a while. So now it's like I see this camera does a little focusing in and out actually. So the problem is all these cameras have like an audio feature as well, right? So for whatever reason, and when I'm trying to go into StreamYard and I'm going back and forth, it fights with itself until it learns that you have to live in the same house. So the laptop's got to recognize the new microphone. The microphone's got to recognize, and StreamYard's got it. Every time, what's going on, buddy? Sean, everyone's got it. So this is the struggle. And then when I would get one thing to work, the other one wouldn't work. And I had to try different ports and different, hubs. And anyway, this is how we do things. What's going on, everyone? How are you? I know I kind of left you guys all out there for a while. So I hope you don't mind. I have a DDP. I'm going to crack the DDP. What else are we going to do here? So Andrews, I don't have a mouse here. We got Gators, Andrews, Tommy Morehouse, Sean. You guys are the ones that have been in here. Brown, in and out. Crazy Crappie, Colin, Donnenberger. What's going on, guys? All right, so here's the thing. Yeah, I know, Sean, right? Sean, I was thinking about you the other day because I was trying to go through some I was trying to clean up some spinner baits, and there hasn't been much that I've cleaned up recently, but over the next 2 weeks, I'm really going to get a few things dialed in. So all bassed up. What's going on, buddy? And I was thinking about you, Sean. You guys listen, if you guys don't follow Sean on Instagram, you should. He makes some really, really good spinner baits. So I love his colorways, and he's another Illinois guy too. So all bassed up, makes some good stuff too. Scott, yeah, same to you. BFE, yeah, that's the Bradley Hallman hat, and it's supposed to be best flipping ever. I think it means like lots of other things. I don't know. Brian, what's up, buddy, from Australia? How are you? All right, so I would tell you this. You know what I'm going to do? Allow me to entertain as we're testing here. So, Scott, what's going on, buddy? Let me go over to YouTube. I just want to see what this looks like. And why? I don't know, because I'm testing stuff out tonight. So, once I go on the JIGSQUAD, I will go and mute this, so we're not hearing all this disco night. Wow, that actually that actually looks pretty damn clear. You can now put people in timeout for different lengths, ranging from 10 seconds to 24 hours. Oh, well, isn't that nice? All right, so yeah, you know what it is, guys. I wanted to get a new microphone. I did buy myself a microphone before Christmas. I got myself a new camera. I don't know if the camera's even that great. Probably better than the other one I was using before. But yeah, so I'm not gonna wait until the other shows to do like surprises. Like if you're here now, I'm just gonna tell my piece. It is what it is. I just decided, like when I came up with that title, I thought, I would like to get back on and have a conversation once in a right, exactly, Tom. New toys, fun. Eric and I talked. We have a couple ideas for a couple shows that we want to do. Eric and I love chatting, and so like we're like, I go, let's, I get Jones to go and talk about some jig stuff or just some topics. So Eric and I are going to do a couple of specific shows this year, so it'll be fun. And then yeah, I said, so the whole concept here is that, the reason Jig Squad changed from what it was show wise is because it can't sustain itself with just interviewing jig makers. A lot of it became repetitive. So and my thing is, like, I like to laugh and tell jokes, and I kind of want to do more of that. So that's the hope. I can rant with the best of them, you guys. I really can. And I have lots of opinions on people and things going on. But I decided that rather than be mean-spirited about it, we're gonna do Flippin' Out. And Flippin' Out is gonna be about just in theme. People could come into chat, you can say whatever the heck you want. I don't want any politics stuff. I'm not interested in it. Don't pollute my love of fishing by talking about politics. And I just want to start throwing out some silly little perspectives and comments of some of the things going on. And we'll do that. So, yeah, Andrew, I know so many thoughts. Hick, JT, what's up, brother? So, and JT can relate to this from just the whole concept of, like I'm still making jigs, guys. I'm still doing all that. But that's not, I don't want to get on and just talk to everyone about jigs anymore. Now that I'm selling, everything's different, right? So I want to kind of get on and crack some jokes and kind of talk about some of the funny things going on. JT, I appreciate it, brother. You know what it is, JT? I got a new mic, right? And I got a new camera. So you know what that means. That basically means you have to teach all the kids how to play nice together again, right? Because the camera, in my case, I wasn't buying a real high-end camera. My camera wants to be in charge of everything. And the microphone's like, no, that's not how this works. And then the computer says, well, I don't agree with either of you. So tonight was about just setting things up and just kind of getting things all tested out. So, but that's going to be the theme for the year. I don't know how often I'm doing shows, you guys. I don't have time to do shows all the time. I just want to have fun, and get on once in a while and chat with people. Like I would love to sit there and talk and joke about things. I have a couple cool, fun little ideas of little things in the fishing industry to kind of tease and make fun of. Andrew's saying we're slamming Walters. Oh gosh, the walleye guys are just getting crazy. Yeah, this is that time of the year. And Tom's another Illinois guy, not too far from me. He's like, I think I winterized too early. Tom, you're probably right, because I see pictures of friends sending pics, even out from the lake. And not the guys that are like the trout and salmon guys, like bass guys that are out bass fishing still. So, and the Wisconsin guys will fish walleye until they can't get on the water anymore. So, yeah, but I think that this will be fun. I may even bring some different people on here and there that I think are good sticks. And I don't mean fishing sticks. I mean, they're funny, and have them come on. Like an example would be, and we all understand why these things happen, but like, we're going to do like, it's going to be like, it's going to be funny versions of gripe shows, right? So like one would be when people black out, or smudge out all the background pics of their picture. So it looks like it's them standing in like a cloud of haze. And the guys up north here, the freshwater guys, don't do it as much as like the Florida guys. They really do it a lot. JT saying, just pulled his boat out and tested it last weekend because I don't use it much, but we'll hit a power plant like 90 minutes away after duck season. JT, you're coming into Illinois for that, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I know where that is, right? So, absolutely. It's so the fun begins. Like everyone's got to find their, how many times can one get blocked, right? Well, there's that too, so there's a lot of fun things to talk about. Um, I kind of want to, I, I am going to, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, and I definitely won't make a whole show about it. Maybe I'll just talk about it now. Um, Jacob Fouts, right? Because I don't want to do a whole show on it. I feel like it's been hammered to death. It's overdone, but everyone's kind of talked about Jacob Fouts, and I give this guy a lot of credit for coming out. He's a young kid, right? And a young man, right? And he is in his 20s, and he he just he just hasn't been around the world for more time, right? Yeah, Newton. Okay. Yes. I hope you smash him, JT. What a lot of fun. And especially it like fills that itch in the winter. So I hope you get at it. Um so Fauci, this poor cat, and I'm not gonna rip him to shreds, but I am gonna say a few things. Do you believe this fella? I want to do everything and be funny about it. Yeah, Sean, actually, JT, Sean's actually closer to Newton than I am. And Sean's about less, what did you say, Sean? Less than an hour south of me. Um, so Fauci, this guy, I mean, what a great accomplishment. The guy makes it to the elites, right? He's there on the elites. And then just one day, he's about as down as you could get. And he gets on that thing in his driveway. And I don't know if you saw the first video, but the one thing that I took from the whole thing is they go, isn't that a shame that a guy's on the elite tours and doesn't have sponsors? And this is why it's good for me to talk about this now, because I don't want to do future shows and title anything about it, make it clickbaity. So, and I actually enjoy this conversation going on in chat, because it's people talk about Newton all the time in this Midwest region about going and fishing it. So Fauci, my favorite thing that this guy says is when he talks about, he's like, you know what? I hate guiding. I don't like people. I don't like guiding them, but I have to do it. And I'm thinking to myself, and then in subsequent videos, I click on him and he starts talking about, you can win a guide trip with me. I'm thinking, I wouldn't fish with you if you paid me. This guy, are you kidding me? I even wonder if bass should have like a new angler introduction to public relations. Like there should be something that they offer for new anglers to sit with an advisor or a consultant with the company, because he reflects bass too. Why wouldn't you want those people? But my goodness, this I think it's great that he's doing YouTube. I think he hit record like Rob Turkle told him. He went out there, he's doing things. Metalhead, what's up, brother? Hey, always putting fire stuff out, my friend. JP, what's up, brother? But I mean, do you believe that? He goes on there. Yeah, look at what JT said here. Like the briefings the NBA or NFL players get. Why wouldn't Bass do that? Right? Why wouldn't they do that? And it could be MLF, it could be wherever the heck you want, NPFL, but why wouldn't they do that? I'll tell you what, I'll do it for you. You guys could get these guys, the new guys, the young cats. You could get them I could get them on a Google call for 1 hour and say, hey, listen, here are just, I'll put together a PowerPoint. I'll say, here are just some basic things. Hellabass has talked about some of this before. I just think it's something that they should do, because it makes them look unprofessional to a degree, right? Due to lack of knowing, being ignorant. And is that really their fault? No, I mean, the world's changed. The kids that are in their 20s now, some of them are coming out and they're interactive and can be sociable and communicate, and some of them can't. And I mean, I honestly think that this is not just about the individuals branding themselves. There was an article actually on Bassmaster on the website. And I forgot the gentleman's name that wrote the article, but I almost sent him a message. And I was going to say to him, I'm like, listen, I was going to tell the guy, he wrote an article and basically said, hey, listen, it's part of your responsibility as an angler. He didn't really rip him, but he kind of just said, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a young guy. You don't know what you're talking about. You have to work to take advantage of these opportunities and things. And that was all great. But I was sitting there thinking, I go, is this how Bass does things? They're good with one of their own writers writing an article, kind of taking backhands, maybe rightfully so, at Jacob Fouts, right? Kind of taking backhands at him and saying, you know, and this is the new state of affairs. But instead of that, that goofball could have sat there and said, hey, Bass, why don't you allow me as a writer to put some things together that might be beneficial? We could bring in a marketing person to say, hey, here are some advantageous things we could do for transitioning to professional, a work environment, contract somebody from the local university. They could have done a lot of things, but they didn't. So, Bass, I think you missed the spot on that. I'm not here to rant on you. I'm here to tell you that you didn't go about things the right way. And I think that could have been something advantageous for Jacob Fouts, but I guarantee it would be advantageous for other people as well. See, and this becomes the second half. All right, so what JT, oh, I see Zona did a show on Newton. That's crazy. All right, so Ish said it best. Sponsors don't owe anglers a dang thing. I agree with that. I agree with that statement. And see, this is getting to the point, JT's next point. Pros think they're entitled these days. Just because you fish at the highest level, you still have to hustle. This is a great comment. And the reason is, it was only, you guys, what would you say? With 2 years ago, I wouldn't even say 2 years ago. I think 1 year ago is when people in the media industry finally started to acknowledge the YouTube world a little bit, even though the momentum was already going. People that were already running channels, right, and shows and had knowledge and were drawing in sponsorships. And a lot of people were still hanging out. Well, you're not a pro. You're not a pro. You're not a pro. But yet, I hate to say it, there was a lot of people that already knew, including pro anglers, that if you didn't have a media campaign going, you weren't going to make it in this industry. That's why almost every professional angler has a media channel now, and in many instances are hiring people to full-time film for them, even if they only have 20-some thousand followers. So, but there were the hang-alongs for a long time that still didn't acknowledge it, and it is true, and they have to learn. But I will say, from a business perspective, if I'm working for Bass, I believe that there should be and it doesn't have to be a mentoring program. It should be a public relations 101. You know, yeah, right, exactly. Guggen's blew them all away. They're drawing thousands of fans to the Classic, and the pros were getting pissed. And that's how it all started, frankly. And it continued on. I will say it's interesting because just because we're saying these things, I don't and what's Andrew saying? They're all about the views, Gator says. You have to provide value for them, people are saying. They're not, first of all, they are not sponsors, they are partners. It's a two-way street. That's a great point. And I think that's the whole thing. How do you provide value back to that company? A lot of companies still there's a big part of it where they want clicks to turn into revenue, right? And there's a lot of companies that can't even figure out how to do that yet. Guggen Slayer, what's going on, buddy? Yes, and then built a whole new company off the momentum. So what's interesting is there's a lot of companies that will do things like they'll say, you know, we need you to generate sales. Like everything is return on investment. That's what they'll talk about. Well, one of the things that the all companies can't 100% come to grips with is, how do they determine return on investment, right? Because I could tell you this. Well, I won't use my example. So let's say you're a person that worked for Little Mo's fishing company, and all you did was promote Little Mo's fishing company. That's all you did. All you did was use Little Mo's fishing company product 90% of the time. You talked about it. That was the way you did things. And then all of a sudden, Little Mo said, well, we can't determine how much value you provided to our company. But yet Little Mo's never gave you a discount code or anything else. Listen, let me tell you something. If some company gives you a code and says, hey, click on this affiliate link and it lets them know that I sent you. Absolutely garbage. What? It lets them know you sent you. Why would I go buy product from one place when I could buy it somewhere else cheaper? Because bald ass Murphy just said, "Hey, can you click on my link?" Are you kidding me? What type of pretzel logic is that? Colin, what's going on, buddy? That's an example of Little Mo's Fishing Company, right? But that's crazy. Companies have to sit there. Here's another one. Oh my God, we got to save some of these for shows. Maybe we'll do another. This is one we may do for a show someday. Tackle warehouse links. You're a YouTuber. You generate, whatever. You tell people, hey, if you shop at Tackle Warehouse, use my link. And a ton of people on social media have them, right? And I think that's great. But they get a dollar percentage of those sales. And I don't know exactly what that is. And I think I've actually heard that some different people have different deals, whatever. It's just the whole point that there are so many people out there that have that. You're torn between who you're using. Yeah, JT, that would be a good idea. Some of those topics, and I don't even know what the real answer is, but it's just one of those things. I think the thing that I'm learning for myself is that I think it would be fun to talk about these things, but I don't want to be so definitive where I'm just like, screw somebody. It's just I just want to bring up the topic about. I think it'll be fun, and it allows us to kind of crack some jokes at it. And to be honest with you, I think the cracking jokes at it and laughing and doing silly things and me making noises and stuff, I think what that does is it allows us to provide some humor to it so we all don't get angry. And the industry has become such an angry place, right? In so many different ways. It's very, very hard to process, some of the things that happen and the complacency. Yes, Colin, Brian Schmidt does have jigs on Tackle Warehouse. He does. And so I just think that it's a fun way to allow us some innocence. Like JT's saying, and Gramps is right. Like it allows us to have a little bit of fun with these things that everyone, it's like the white elephants in the room, but there's so many of them. Now they're changing colors, right? Now there's the pink elephant and the blue elephant. And it doesn't mean anyone's high. It just means that there's all these things that have stayed around. And I don't know. I think it would be fun to talk about. And I'll tell you, I just the big thing is I don't want it to be a crab and a bitch session. I think that we've all had opportunities to allow that to impact us. Why? Because we get riled up about things, right? We're human beings. So the good thing for me though is, like I said, I think there's been several people that were waiting for me to kind of talk about all kinds of things for next year and happenings. And don't mind me. I may have maybe I got some bourbon around here. Gotta look. Maybe it disappeared on me. I hate when it runs away. So I think by doing this, it gives us a little chance. Here we go. It gives us a little chance to have conversations, and laugh a little bit, right? I don't know. I just think it's a good thing to do. We'll laugh a little bit. A lot of people are expecting they want to hear me talk about what are my plans for next year. I'm making another cool little jig. I'm making a 3/32 ounce tungsten headed size number 2 wide gapped hook for bass that is meant to fall and like a parachute. It's a really cool little jig. So I'm working on that, but I got to test it a little more. And I know I'll get to that in 1 second. So Scott's saying, so comical. It's all one big family, right? It really is, Scott. And sometimes it really does get cutthroat and childish. And people are thin skinned. And I'll tell you, I mean, there's things that rile me up. There's people that do a good job of it, of rolling right past it and not managing it. Sean's saying that Tackle Warehouse feels like they are untouchable and can do what they want because they have the most to choose from compared to Baitworks, Omni, etc. Yeah, and I mean, I guess they do to an extent, right? Yeah, I know, JT. Thank you. Yep, 10-year. Russell's 10. That's what we're doing. I'll tell you, if you want to know what you should do, if you want to get on YouTube and find followings, you should do a bourbon show, because those guys, they rack it in. They have Patreon and all kinds of fun little things, but it hasn't been my jam, you know. So I once in a while I like a little pour. Yeah, I like the juice. It's all good. Um, so I know maybe this will be my chance to kind of get this out now. I debated whether, depending on how this went, I didn't know whether I was going to leave the show up. I do too, Jeremy. There's a lot of fun guys out there and do some cool things. So it's funny. I'm watching this and I see the camera readjusting. New camera. I'm learning. Oh, yeah, cigars as well. I'm not a cigar guy. I do, but I do like my bourbon. Um, you know, I know people, the live, I actually, until I hit live, I don't think it matters. The chat was open ahead of time, so that's good. So I may leave this up. Um, I know a lot of, so that is what Flipping Out is going to be about. It's going to be about talking about these fun little topics, having some good conversations, laughing quite a bit, and they're not going to be bitch sessions. They're really not. Um, I'm going to get this out of the way tonight. Like I said, I wasn't even intending on doing a show. This was just kind of, um, Bird Dog peanut butter whiskey is fire. Okay, see everyone, there you go. And a little scotch. It doesn't matter what it is. A little Bushmilk. See, everyone comes out of the woodwork when the bourbon topic comes up, and maybe we'll do some shows like that. Um, I know everyone's going to be asking me about what I'm doing next year. I've worked with two. I've done a lot of work with a lot of companies, but I've really worked with two companies in terms of being an ambassador. First company I worked with, and I don't know if many of you know this, I was an ambassador with X Zone Lures. I am still a fan. Once in a while, I still communicate back and forth with Jim Van Ryn. I think he's a great guy. He's grown a fantastic company. Oh, there you go, JT. Four Roses. Um, so that was the first company I worked with for a little bit, and because I was really getting into the jig end of things, I kind of we talked, and I said, hey, this isn't something I'm going to continue with. I need to move in a different direction. So, but I was exclusively in terms of formally an ambassador with Dua Molds. So I appreciate my time with them and all that I gave them. Um, I feel that I did a lot of work and I did a lot of valuable things to draw attention to their product. As you could see behind me, I'm still going to be pouring, but I am going to be, I am not renewing my contract with Dua Molds next year. I am going to be still using Dua Molds all the time. I have an opportunity to use some other products now as well, some different paints. And it's not that I'm going in a different direction. My primary paints will still remain ProTech. But it was just because I decided to move into that jig end and selling jigs now. Yeah, like everything's different, and because of that, I feel I 100% honored my contract with them for the year. Probably way more in depth in the past years than this year. But then again, like I said, I've done a lot for that company, and they were lucky to have me, and I appreciate my time with them. And now it's adventures in other places. So if anyone expected me to be saying anything different, things change. People's perspectives and needs in terms of working with companies change, and obligations, and mine have, and so I'm moving on to other things, and so I'm excited about that. But I still recommend that if you're a starter, there's an opportunity there. Andrew, there are some things there sometimes too. Um, but like I said, I mean, I'm not going to go into it. it's just, I've said my piece on that. I appreciate my time with them for the last, I think I was with them for 3 years. So, but that is no longer. So I'm no longer, I'm not renewing my contract with them for next year. So, and I notified them of that, back in October. So anyway, to a healthy 2024 for them. And I know I'm going to be in a better spot. So I'm excited about that. Wait a second. This is great. I can't wait. Jeremy's saying I'm moving away from several partners this year. Just no time for it. Yeah. And that becomes part of it. Once you start thinking about what you're doing, JT's saying he's going to do some camping. See, that's kind of fun, dude. Cause I'll tell you what, if you want to talk about cool products, here's the thing, JT, you know what you got to do? Who doesn't like watching shows about two things? And it can be related to camping, but I'm going to say it's related to all the above. But there are two shows that if I catch the right one, I'm all ears. Two themes. What do you think they are? There are two types of products that I think all fishermen and camping people and hiking people, there are two particular products that all people in the outdoor world will like to watch. Even if you don't camp, Colin, name two products in the outdoor world that every fisherman, camper, hiker, and everyone else likes to talk about. Cups? No. You're bad at this game, Colin. Hold on. Let's see. No one say phone. Nice. JT's got the first one. Nice and tense. Tom's close. I'm giving clues. Colin, you're going to get this one. I know you're going to get it. Knives. That's the favorite. Poison ivy. See, these are the fun topics that we should do. Flashlights. Everyone likes a little flashlight, a big flashlight. What a great, I mean, how many times have you gone down the rabbit hole of flashlights? And it doesn't have to be on some of like Phoenix or all these cool little Motel 6 and Red Roof Inns. Some are better than others. Flashlights that, Sean, flashlights that run off of water. I've heard about this. And I don't know if I'm thinking I heard about it because you just said something cool, because I can't reference any of it. See, all this stuff is cool. So, so shows like that, like JT, if you add something like those things in there, that's all fun. And camping, I can't even tell you the last time I went camping, but every time somebody's got like an inflatable mattress, not a mattress, just the sleeping bag mat. I'm always fat, and I'm like, this is great. Look, it came out of that little bag. This is so great. Whiskey flask. I'm going to tell you, if I sit there and type in the title whiskey and whiskey and fishing, the whiskey people will come out of the woodwork. I just can't in good faith do it because I don't want to just talk about booze. So as you can see, I poured this a little while ago. I haven't even had a sip. So, but I mean, you know, all right. Andrew's saying, I have a confession. I'm nearly 45 and never bought a knife other than a Rapala fillet knife. Andrew, even if you don't want to go and buy an expensive knife, go on Amazon. Go on Amazon and buy some cheap little knife for opening boxes and whatever. You don't have to go all out. Scott has got real good ones. I like Scott's ideas. I still have my pocket knives that I had when I was little. Yep. Everyone in the club is getting tipsy, right? Yeah. So I don't know, you guys. Hey, listen, truth be told, the whole reason I came up, let me see if I can even find that right now. Let me show you I don't know if you guys saw on Instagram. I'm going to try. Hold on. Let me go over to something else. I'm going to try and see if I can get in my drive here. And like I said, this was not planned tonight, you guys. So everything became kind of JT, you know enough about microphones. I'm just a loudmouth. So I even make the laptop microphone sound better. But how's this microphone sound, JT? JT's a podcasting fiend. All right, let me see. I'm basically trying to find the Flippin Out little logo that I posted the other day. Let me see if I can. Here we go. I have several different versions because one's for a story, IG post. This is just a regular. No, don't go and do that. Stop that. All right, let me see. I'm going to try and show this for you. All right, so hold on. I'm coming back to you. A Leatherman multi-tool. Andrew, buy yourself a Leatherman multi-tool. JT, thanks, buddy. Because I finally splurged and spent a little more than just the. Actually, my wife had a decent one, and now I'm like I was running off the camera, and there goes the bourbon. This is why I called Flipping Out. We just flipped the bourbon. It's okay. Should we do that? Well, that's going to smell. Not all of it. There's a little bit left. All right. So I'm going to try. I haven't done this for a while. So let me go and do show screen. I want to be able to. Did I close out of it? Yeah. All right. So hold on. I'm going to try and show screen. Present. Share screen. JIGSQUAD. All right. So hold on. All right. So that's kind of my little. I think I got into it for like $1 for the microphone itself. You know, it's one of those Rode pod mics. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. It's good. So okay, so what you see up here on the screen, you guys, change shirts. I'm home, my man. Oh yeah, well we could do that too, Tom. That's another topic. All right, so if you see here, this was like the new. I don't know what the heck we're gonna do, but this is gonna be the new little logo, and of course I made it in like for Instagram story, and then I also made it for like a post because I put a post on Instagram. So you know, I don't know. I like playing around with this. Truth be told, you guys, I'm not interested in doing a show all the time anymore. I'm really trying to make some money selling some jigs. That's the truth. That finesse football has done really, really well. Actually, I've said it to people that finesse football, it's 1/8 ounce, but it weighs out at 3/16 of an ounce. And more, I honestly think there are more people using it, swimming it for largemouth now than anything else. And it just crushes. You could it's an 1/8 ounce, 1/0 hook. It actually weighs out when finished tied at 3/16 of an ounce. So, but I thought this was classic Mike Murphy. JT, if you message me on the gram, I'll send you a picture of all of the colorways I have, and then you can reference the colors again on posts I made. But I'll tell you the most popular colors. Like I said, they're 1/8 ounce. There's no weed guard on them, but I'm telling you, if you swim them for largemouth, they will absolutely crush. And I'll tell you, when you get in the river swimming them, you'll do really well. So if you message me, JT, I'll show you all the colorways I have, and then you can reference them in larger colors. And I'm doing everything above board. I'll be claiming them on my taxes and everything else. And I'm doing that. I'm not charging people taxes, but I'm going to do that on my own end. And the reason is because it allows me to gain some of my credits for Social Security still, because I'm in education. I don't earn credits for Social Security. So this is my way of legitimizing a business. But I don't want to go online selling and sell to good people. So Guggen Slayer, you have to either email me at jigsquadfishing@gmail.com, and I will send you pictures of the base, what the base jig looks like, and then what it looks like finished. And I'll show you all the colorways. I do not have a website. I am on Instagram, though. So you can either email me or message me on Instagram if you're on Instagram, and I can share the same information with you either way. And I'd be more than happy to share my phone number if you had questions. I could always text the information back and forth with you. I ship with with tracking and everything, so everything's legit and above board. So in this way you'll get to see all the colorways and stuff too. So this logo. So the reason I kind of did this is I basically said, well, if I'm going to get on once in a while, which is this is like a 2024 thing for me. I want to get on once in a while and just talk and not have it be these interviews and preparing so much, just fun little topics. I said I kind of wanted to call it something different because the only times I was doing it before it was talking about jigs, and then I would just get on randomly. So I'd like it to be a little more focused on being spirited, have some fun, poke some fun at the industry a little bit. So it's not just going to be about um just jigs anymore. You know, those days are done. We'll still talk about them, or I may have some jig specific shows, but it's mostly going to be about just talking about the industry, the happenings, the going ons in the tournament scene, stuff like that. Jason, I just decided to get on and test my new microphone and camera. Um, so that there you go. So listen, I'll tell you another thing. So Hickman Outdoors, if you go and watch JT hooked up with Greg, what the hell's Greg's name? Hook Life or Hook Life. He hooked up with Greg and they were on a river. JT's been smashing some big smallies in the last month, JT? Michael Bradley, what's going on, buddy? He is been yeah, Hook Life. JT has been on some nice smallies getting in the yak, and it's been nice to see. Bass After Dark. You guys, if you haven't seen Bass After Dark, you should check it out. So that's Brian the Carpenter, that used to do all the programming stuff for Ike Live, and then Ken Duke, who's the guru of fishing history. It's called Bass After Dark. They are on YouTube, and they bring on 4 mystery guests every week, and they have a topic and they talk about that topic. And sometimes the characters that they bring in are diabolically opposed. And so they've only done about 3 or 4 shows, so there should be more. It was a cool topic last night. It was about pet peeves in fishing, and the topic kind of went in. They had Brian New on, Travis Manson from Smallmouth Crush. They had on, who are the other people? Why am I forgetting this? Travis Manson, Brian New. Wow, that's horrible. Now I'm forgetting already who the other. I think there was 3 guests, and the other guest. Who was the other guest? I don't remember. But it is a fun show. But a lot of the discussion actually moved into having a conversation about cheating in bass fishing and the permissibility of Fat Cat Newton. That's right, Michael. So it's Fat Cat Newton, Brian New from the Bassmaster Elites, and then Travis Manson. Great guests. And the conversations was about cheating in bass fishing and what it really means when people don't, speak up and say something about it. And it was talking about what accountability meant and what it looked like. It was a really good show. I thought it was well balanced. It did not get out of hand. When it first started, Scott, you should have seen him last night. I don't know if you saw it, but he was pretty serious last night. Like, he was on it. He had like one little segment where Fat Cat went on a rant, and more power to him because he said his piece. There was no backlash or lashing out at other anglers or organizations. It was mostly just about, we are our brother's keeper and how we have to have ownership in terms of what we do. So it means accountability towards each other. There was more discussion about the information sharing than there was about other cheating elements. So JT, good night, brother. Happy New Year's to you. Yeah, Brian New did a great job. And I'll tell you what, Brian New impressed me. I wasn't always a big Brian New fan. I don't know why, just wasn't. And hearing him talk last night, he said some thoughtful things. He decided not to go down certain roads. So hats off to him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, anytime somebody's able to speak their mind. If you're in chat, you're looking, I'm just showing a graphic of Flippin Out podcast. which is going to be my way of getting online and having conversations and laughing about things in the fishing industry. So we'll have a lot of fun with this. Eric's going to do some shows with me. We'll do some other themes. I might even try and drag somebody in who's not in the fishing industry and ask them just like their perspective of like jig making and things like that, because I have a friend that I think would be pretty funny at having that conversation. Yeah, but that's basically, this is my way of getting back into, let me get back to this. This is going to be my way of getting back into having some conversations and not owing much of anything. I did have this cool little, I had this cool little light, and I'll have to change some things up because I got this cool little light over here that I think I have to get less, it has to be less power or less wattage. But I got, how people put all these little freaking cool, they're all cool. Cool people put cool lights up. And Mike Murphy tries to put a light up and it looks bright. Doesn't look cool. So I'm going to do better. I promise you. But anyway, that's my cool little light. A little too bright. Might have to get a different light bulb for it. So we had those light bulbs. They were from an old setup we had. So, but anyway, the things are going to be, let me check YouTube. I want to see what the screen, it looks okay. It's not as good as I would like, but whatever. It's okay. How's the video look, you guys? Clear? What's your opinion? My Wi-Fi laptop doesn't look that great. Streaming it does look okay. How do you guys think the video looks? Yeah, Sean, from here on out, it's going to be in the basement. I mean, there's no reason. I'm going to modify some things. I got to figure out this light. I got one light like right here on the camera. Actually, you guys, I'll do a little thing. If you guys ever want, you know what? Let me ask you a question, you guys. Here's something I've been wondering. What if I was to do little 2 to 3 minute instructables on some little jig hacks or things like that I did pre-recorded and put up on the web on the YouTube page? Would that be worthwhile? Or my thoughts about something? I'm debating whether I'm not editing. I'm not doing it. I don't have time for it. I'm a jig maker again. I'm making jigs. I'm selling jigs. People have been sending me messages actually about that 3/32 ounce. So I have that 1/8 ounce, but that 3/32 ounce jig that I'm working on, it's killer, guys. It is killer. Don't do as a short. Yeah. I'm thinking that I may put a few little videos out. I don't know. I'll tell you this. I don't feel like I have time for it. I don't like it. So we'll see what happens. But this little 3/32 ounce jig, you guys, is going to be killer. It has less skirting material in there than my normal finesse footballs. And when it hits the water, it's got a size number 2 hook, wide gap size number 2. It's killer. I would almost say it's almost like a wacky jig hook. A little larger though, a little larger. It'll weigh out at 3/32 of an ounce, and it has a skirt. And when that thing hits the water, and it's a tungsten head, and when that thing starts going down, it just spreads out, and it looks like a puff ball. So I'm fine tuning the name on it. I still want to do some more testing on them. But I'm telling you, they actually crack the largemouth too, and smallmouth. But it's just a slow falling thing. People would think it's primarily for the spring. It's not. I designed it because I wanted something that was going to fall slowly on the outside of a weed line. Imagine like how when you would wacky rig, or where you would wacky rig, or how you would wacky rig, but just slightly different. So like transition areas, weed lines, outside of brush piles, things like that. Sean, I am not. It's a slotted, it's a tungsten bead. So I'm tying a tungsten bead onto the jig hook. I'm tying that on, and then I'm putting my skirt on. So Colin, good night, buddy. So it's totally different. It's no one, actually, to be honest with you, there's nothing like it in our world, the jig world. There are jigs out there in the fly world, but not with silicone skirts. So it's going to be silicone skirted. I of course, you know, Sean, I could have done different things with it, but it's, if you guys go on Instagram, here, let me see if I find it real quick. I'll try and hold this up to the camera. I do know it's posted. I just want to show you guys what it looks like. It's a cool little jig. Here, let me see. This is not gonna. I'll turn it like that. So you see how big that hook gap is, you guys? If you go on Instagram, that's how it's gonna. I have this light here. Let me see if I can block this light. This is on Instagram. I posted this on November 7th. And you could see some greater detail. It's a super cool little jig. But take a look. And I think I originally thought that I was going to wait to the spring to release it, but I don't think I'm going to wait to the spring. I think I need a little more time in January, maybe by the end of January. I need to do some more water testing on it. I want to make sure it's falling the way I want it to fall. I want to make sure that the so how do I describe this to people? So jigs are going to do different things depending on how somebody ties them, right? So basically what I mean by that, by how there's different ways you can tie that are going to change how much flare there is on a jig, or whatever you're using. Man, my camera looks like it's like moving back and forth. That's wild. It's focusing in and out, in and out, in and out. I don't know what I did. I must have hit something, and now it's trying to find its way back. Out the pattern. Yeah. Sean, it's cool. So the whole thing is supposed to be a slow fall, a limited amount of material on it, but and that's meant to create this like parachute as it drops. And because it's not that big, I mean, it just gets, they bite it, and it's like got it's got a wide gap on it, but it's almost like a how would I say it, like a circle hooked kind of wide gap. It's just interesting. It's just a killer little jig, so it's gonna be fun. But anyway, that's coming, so you can expect that down the pike, end of January. If you're interested in like, I'm back on YouTube and I'm watching the freaking video. It's like focusing in and out, in and out, in and out. Holy cow. That's wackadoodle. It's got to stop that. Stop. Ever since I held that shit up. Is it the microphone that it's recognizing? Oh my God. That's kookadoo. It's going in and out, in and out. Holy shit. What is up with this camera? Block it for a second. It's got to stop at some point. Holy shit. Maybe. Anyway, like I said, guys, I'm just trying to figure out. Yeah, Andrew, ponds, like outside weed lines and stuff like that. And it's a stout little hook, though. It's a cool little hook, and no one else has anything like it. So I don't know what to say. You know, it is what it is. So I might decide some different marketing strategies and do little packs and stuff like that, or little 5-6 packs in the spring. But if you're interested, you got to email me at jigsquadfishing@gmail.com or message me on Instagram, and I'll show you all the colorways that are available, which I'm going to cut off at some point, because I've kept a record of my best selling colors, and I'm not going to offer anything. It just, I want to give a variety to people, so they can choose what they want, but I also don't want to have 25 colors out there. Everything's custom made to order. I'm not at the point where I want to make everything in advance. Gators, you're swerving right now, brother? Come on now. Gators is always on a stogie. That guy's out fishing and he's chewing on that thing. He looks like he's having a snack, like it's a Cheeto. Yeah, Andrew, Lake Geneva, that thing's gonna crush, man. And you know what the other thing is? That little jig. I have one friend, and I already know this just because I thought this was gonna work. But when you get a lighter jig like that, and you throw that next to a dock, and it just goes spreads out and goes down like this. Come on now, that's like holding a Pringle in front of my face. I'm gonna eat it, you know. Um, so like I said, guys, there's so many cool things out there, but you gotta want to put a spinning rod in your hand. Gators, did you throw the footballs yet? Gators has some of the footballs. Oh, you're swerving from the camera moving. I think it stopped moving now. Hopefully it finally stopped because I'm not seeing it do the same thing. That was wild for a little bit. I thought I had a friend under the desk that was working me over. Just saying. But anyway, you guys, that's what we're up to. I have no intention of I can't be slurring my words there. I only had a little. I spilled some on me. I didn't even have enough on me. So I don't know. I mean, this is going to be a good opportunity. Flipping out with Jig Squad. We're going to have a chance to have conversations about fun little happenings in the industry, particularly when we get started next year. I'm really, really interested to see what happens with the NPFL and the names that they release of who's going to be participating when that roster comes out with soon. Yes, very, very soon. So anyway, you guys, hit me up if you're interested in jigs. When I am on, it's going to be under the Flipping Out mantra. That's going to be the new name. We're not going to be talking about jigs all the time, just other little fun little things. I will pick some topics, so we're kind of on task. If I could get out of some of these little shows and do 45-minute shows, that'll be perfect. Let's see, Bruce, how are you, buddy? Kuda, do you have a FBW4 AF? If so, what do you use to avoid pouring lead with a weed guard installed? All right, which one? Why do I feel like I might be able to guess that? Which is the 4 AF, the FB4 4AF? Let's look. Oh boy. Oh yeah, it's bright, guys. Hold on. Gotta look. Oh my god. You're gonna have to football. What is it? Football? Bruce, you're gonna be able to tell me what it is. Football 90 degree with weed guard. I don't know. Is that football? Cool, Jason. Yeah. Yeah, Bruce, tell me which one, and I will tell you some tips, right? So yeah, football. Okay, so shit, did I bring my if I brought it down there, you're gonna be in luck. So basically, there's two things you could do. All right. One I have not done yet. One is you could use guys, anyone know what the welding stuff is? The red welding paste. There's a Bruce, I'll find out and I'll message you. But a second thing that you could do, let me see if I have them down here. I think I might have them out in the garage, and this is what I was worried about. If I have one down there. There are little Teflon pins here. Let's just do this. Let me see if I could drive and Bruce, I'll kind of show you. Let's go to Barlow's Tackle. Barlow's Tackle. As soon as I get there, I'll open this up and you can see. So when you go, they're called Teflon pins. And so basically, the metal football pins that you would normally use in there are too long, right? So you can't block it off. But what you would do is there are Teflon pins that you could cut down the size so it'll fit where you would put the weed guard, the metal weed guard holder. I'm not even calling it the right thing. But you basically put the edge of it right at the end of where the roundness of the football happens. And so it's not going into the cavity itself. So hold on. But I'll show you exactly what they are. Teflon pins. All right, so hold on. Let me share screen with you here, Bruce. Yeah, Sean's got it. The Teflon pin. So I'll show you what it is so you could see here. Teflon based pins. Share. All right. So, Sean, this is it. So you're looking for Teflon-based hole pins. Okay. And so they come in a pack of, let's just call it 10. Yeah. Here's the thing. Let me see if there's options on this. I will tell you this. Do not get the ones from Do It Molds. And let me tell you why. Because the ones from Do It, they're the 1/8 inch. You need the 1/8 inch. Is that right? I think it's the 1/8. Jason, is that right? Sean, do you know if that's right? There's 1/8 ounce, and what's the other one? I'll show again. Let's see. It's 5/32 or 1/8, and I believe it's 1/8. 1/8 is what comes in the I believe it's 1/8. Let's see if Sean or them know. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to cut it off where the end of it meets up right at the head. And to be honest with you, you know what I do, Bruce? I actually you can do that with round stock. If you Bruce, a guy that talked about that round stock, I actually saved it in my Amazon. I think it might have been Relapse Tackle. Relapse Tackle on YouTube might have used that brass stock or N2 Outdoors maybe. I think it was N2, the letter N, the number 2 Outdoors something. Yeah, you don't even have to cut it. That's the nice thing, right? Here's why I'm saying don't get them from Do It Molds. Bruce, you're right. It was N2. See, this is good. We always divulge back into Jig Talk. You see how this goes? N2's got some cool little videos. The reason I'm telling you to try and get it from Barlow's, I guess you maybe Lure Parts Online or somewhere else might have it. The reason I'm telling you don't get it from Do It Molds is because you can buy on Amazon stock pieces of this that are larger and then cut them down. Well, here's the problem. I'm just telling you, the ones from Do It Molds they're bent, and I'm always trying to heat them up and flex them back, and they're cut cockeyed. They're not cut straight, and that's just been my experience. The ones I get from Barlow's are perfectly cut. So that's how I want them. They're nice and straight. They're functional. Yeah, there you go, Bruce. Use small jaw. I mean, your other options are you could use small jaw, SDG. I like to use small jaw. Sean's describing this right. Pull it out. So Sean's saying this is right. You'll get a feel for it, right? You'll put one in and it'll be too short, and then you wind up pulling it back just a little bit, right? And then basically what happens is you wind up with just a little bump on the head, but you could file that off pretty easy. And that is the best way to do it. But you can also go, and I'm trying to remember the name of the product, Bruce. If you think that you're not going to use that weed guard at all, and you can actually do this back and forth. It's a welding product. It's a high heat. I forgot what it's called. There's 2 different versions of it, but the red bottle of this welding paste, basically you could put in there and block off the area. And you could go that way as well. And if you need to find out the name of that product, I can always look it up and find it. But let me see if I can look. Welding red paste. I don't know if that's good Google foo, but let's see. What is this stuff called? This isn't it. At least that I know of. It's not the stuff that I normally see. But anyway. JB Weld. Larry Hadley said it right there. JB Weld. So JB Weld can do it, right? There you go. And RTV, I think that's it too, Andrew. I think you can use that as well. It might be RTV. I don't know about the JB Weld. I don't know. It's just got a red thing. That's all I know. But I do believe that that's a way to go. Yeah, red silicone, Scott. Your RSV. Now that makes me think, because I think it is red silicone paste. I don't know what I'm talking about. Nonetheless, couple different options. Bruce, any way you look at it to get it perfect, it's almost near impossible to get it perfect. Yeah. Yes, it can be. Yep, that should be it. It should be the RTV. and I don't remember, guys, so I apologize. But Adam Felder's done a couple cool SDG. He's done a couple cool videos with it for boiler gaskets. There you go. So Scott knows. So these are options. But it's never perfect. You always have to file a little bit, you know. Yeah, I think you might be right, Andrew. So a couple different options, but I'll tell you what makes it hard. If you're making a lot of them, it becomes hard. It's just filing's not a problem until you have to file too many things. And then, like, I'll tell you guys that football, like, we have that football being made by a company. So the one that smaller size I'm making is going to be completely hand done by me because I'm using a tungsten bead. But it's not just any old tungsten bead, and it's very difficult to find, and people won't be able to find it. So it's okay. It's all good. You guys, listen, I'm going to leave the video up. We're in an hour. I'm glad that I got to test out this microphone tonight, the lights, or excuse me, the camera, and my light that's too bright over there. But you guys, this is Flipping Out. So we're going to have some good discussions, some fun topics. I don't know how often it's going to be. Guys, I'll tell you right now, it is not going to be a regular show. If I inspire myself to say do a regular show, I will try and do it. But I feel like things are going to get busy again once school starts back up. So, but peace to all you. I hope you guys have a good New Year's. If you have any questions, definitely get in touch with me. I'd be more than happy to help you out, and have a good New Year. So if you need jigs, chase me down at JIGSQUAD Fishing at JIGSQUAD@gmail.com or on Instagram, and I can get you set up with jigs that slay fish. So peace, guys. I appreciate you all. We're going to end this tonight. Let's try and see if I remember how to do this. And I should do something that gets me in trouble, like play music like it used to. It used to try and get me in trouble. Peace, guys. Have a good night.